Chasam Sofer asks a question over here regarding Yitzias Mitzrayim. When we left Egypt, right? We went from chirus, from avdus, to chirus. We went from being slaves to being free. We have a yontif. Holiday is called Pesach, Passover in English. But zman matan Torah for Shevuos, there's no official holiday, right? Why not? The Torah is our life in this world and the next world. It's all about Torah. So why is there no official yontif? Now, most people say, what do you mean? Shavuos is the yontif. That's the time, that's the holiday to remember receiving the Torah. Wrong. Shavuos is the time when we receive the Torah. But it's not that the yontif, the holiday itself, was enacted because of that we receive the Torah. So the question is, why is there no holiday the Chasam Sofer has for Shavuos? So comes along my great-great-grandfather, Nachla Tzvi, Parshas Emor, and he says, Yitzias Mitzrayim, when we left Egypt, the pshat over there is it was something new. That event that never happened before. Hashem then therefore said, you got to celebrate Pesach. This is a new situation over here. However, the Torah wasn't new. The Torah isn't new. Torah is above, preceded, it came before the concept of time. The Zohar says, well-known Zohar, Medrash, the Zohar in Parshas Truma, on Kuf Samach Aleph, yistakal באורייתא וברא עלמא. Hashem looked into the Torah and used it as a blueprint to create the entire world. So therefore, Hashem didn't say that you got to keep this yontif and you got to, because it remembers Torah. Because Torah came before time was even created. That's one answer. The idea of a new event happening, and therefore we commemorate it, we remember it. Torah is not a new event. Another answer is, if we wouldn't have holiday to remember that we were redeemed from Mitzrayim, Egypt, you might come to forget it. Maybe we forget it. Are we going to forget Torah? No? Chas v'shalom? There's never a moment in our life that we are technically not obligated to learn Torah. Now, that's another discussion, by the way, that we worked with in the beginning of Sefer Yeshua, how to fulfill the Hagisa Bo Yom V'Layla, literally learning day and night constantly. How is that possible? A person needs breaks. How is that possible? So there's explanations on that, right? What exactly that means. What it means is we're obligated to learn Torah when we don't need to take care of our necessities. That's what that means. So we're always remembering the Torah, and there's no concern Shema Yishkoch that maybe you're going to come to forget it. Therefore, we don't need a special holiday. This is on page 307, Nachla Tzvi, Shin Zayin, Parshas Emor. Now this stems, this goes very nicely with the Taisvus that we started with, right? Taisvus and Brachos on Yud Aleph and Beis asks a question. If you remove your sitzis over here for 6 hours, 7 hours in the middle of the day, and then you put it back on after, you need to say new bracha, right? If you wash and you have, let's say you eat a bagel in Sukkot, Solomon morning, right? You say Leishid Basukkah. You come back to the sukkah 5 hours later, you need a new bracha. So how come if a person's going to learn a couple hours, go to work for many hours, and then come back and learn for a couple more hours at night, why do you need to say a new bracha and birch Torah? Right? So Taisvus answers, and he says, Yesh Loimar, the shiny Torah she'inam yayish daiso. Person never has yiyush. He never gives up from learning Torah. The kol sha'a adam mechuyev l'lomod. Person is always obligated to learn Torah, as the pasuk says. V'hagisa b'yom v'layla. So it's quoted when we went Yeshua. This Taisus. So therefore, it says if a person is sitting and learning the entire day without interruption, when it comes to eating and drinking, there's a set time for that. This time I'm doing it. The rest of the time I'm not. But over here, the explanation is that it's never off of my mind. It's always on my mind. Hagisa b'yom v'layla. So that's what he says. So this, I think, is a good tie-in to the answer over here of that we don't need a holiday for Shevuos. Remember the Torah, because there's no concern that we're going to come to forget it. What could we say about Torah? We have 5 minutes till Ma'ariv. Shevuos is zman matan Torah. It's a very special time. That's what I do all day. Why am I doing it? Could do anything.
Money.
Why am I doing this? What about money?
No.
You want to make money? Don't go into the you know, I mean, you'll get, Hashem Yazor, Hashem will take care no matter what. Truth of the matter is, but, it says if you want to make money, actually, so then you shouldn't learn Torah in order to make money. You know why? Because it says, whoever learns Torah lishma, which means you learn Torah for its own sake. 6 parakavos. Zoichel dvarim harbe.
Mishnah Vav, right?
It's the beginning of the 6th parak in Avos. You'll merit a tremendous amount. Reb Chaim Volozhin over there, he says that you can't even specify everything that you'll merit by learning Torah properly, but it has to be for the right reason, without ulterior motives.
Yeah.
So therefore, if you're learning Torah just to make money, you ain't gonna make money. It's not gonna happen. If you're learning it for the right reasons, then you'll make a lot of money. Oh. But that takes a lot to learn it for the right reasons. Anyways, the point is that, if I could offer you
$100 sit down.
2,000 peanuts or 2,000 diamonds, which one would you take? Yeah, good answer.
That's what we're all doing when you take to the dollars, really take the peanut.
So people in this world who are spending the majority of their efforts and the working and not so much time learning Torah. Very little time. In fact, you'll be lucky if you get 5-10 minutes out of some people every single day. So the problem is that they're chasing the peanuts. Because the diamonds is where the action's at. That's why I'm in base medrash. Because I know what the diamonds are and what the peanuts are. Olam Haba in the next world.
Oh, Olam Haba, of course I do.
He would take the peanuts because he's a wise guy. But if I start flashing him money and I say, wait a second, you want hold on. I say, wait a second, you want $100 or $1? How wise are you gonna be now? What do you want?
Although the $1 looks nicer.
Oh, you want the dollar? Okay.
The
Good night.
$100 are much.
You see, you're a wise guy, but I'm wiser. You're all talk no game. I got game. Because I just flashed $1 and $100, and you're gonna take the 100 at the end of the game.
I'll take the credit card.
Good job over there.
You still got money. Someone watching the video.
Okay. That's if you get enough.
Yeah.
That's if you get enough.
It's
That's part of the
500
subdivision.
followers.
1 year
You
eventually.
told me it's 500 followers.
You need 500 subs
Yeah,
and you need 3,000 hours.
Do you have 500?
100.
You just reached 100.
Point is, it doesn't matter. Those things don't matter. The thing that matters is,
But I'm replying.
there was once a story that was given, I forget who offhand, and he said, it's worth it. He was talking about, I think it was actually an Avrech, a guy who was in Kol learning in Israel, and he was talking about going from, I think, Bnei Brak to Yerushalayim. It took like 45 minutes to get there to give a shiur. For some reason, there was only one person who was gonna attend the shiur. So he said, usually, I make a calculation. It takes me around 2.5 hours with the shiur round trip. It makes sense. I could take 2.5 hours out of my time to give the shiur because there are 10 people there. 10 people, if it's a 45-minute shiur, they're getting a lot more time of hours of learning. However, if it's only one person, the math just doesn't add up. So I think it was the Chazon Ish, don't quote me on this, but it was a rabbi that said, no. It doesn't work like this with mathematics. When a person gives a shiur, you're not just giving the shiur to one person. That person could get affected and affect other people. And it could be the next generations that come after. So the fruits, the trees, they keep bearing fruits. They keep making more and more fruits, like dividends on stocks, so to say. Right? So that's the idea over here. So he said, when you give a shiur, it's not just even if it's one person, it's worthwhile. In fact, it's even brought down, even if there's only one person at the shiur, and that person is you. If you're going to benefit from the shiur, already it's worthwhile. Just that one person. So you see, there's a similar story with the rabbi. It was like a snow day, only 2 people in the shiur. He's cold, incredibly loud, go around like thunder and lightning, like a harsh Sinai situation. There's only 2 people. It's not usually 25 people. He said, think I'm just talking to you. I'm talking to you, the next generation, anyone else who you interact with. If it's one person who gets affected, the whole thing's worth it. That's what it is. One person. You know what that could do?
We like to think our co-host
Buy
Mordechai
400
Klein.
other phones.
Like to think our co-host named Mordechai Klein. Think of that.
$400 going back.
Buy 400.
400 other phones. He didn't have 100 phones. He was $500.
Oh, that's it.
Buy 400 other phones.
Thank you for our co-host.
You should know a lot of these people who have a lot of the subscribers and all these things, they're all fake. You could call companies and you pay them, you give them a couple $100, they'll get you on the spot. They do all that stuff. I don't go for that stuff. I want real people. I don't go for the fake stuff. I'm a real guy. I made a fake.
Maybe has so many peanuts.
Here's the wise guy.
Co-host actually.
Co-host, yeah.